Sorry.
That would help. That would help. Juneteenth's already getting off to a roaring start, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to that.
Look, if y'all know me, y'all know I got a coughing issue, all right? Don't judge me. Jeez. Ladies and
Silly
gentlemen, this is the 1 year celebration, anniversary, birthday, whatever you want to call it, we'll get to that. First and foremost, my name is K Marvel. Yeah. I love it.
Fancy
Stretch.
now. I am the big Stretch, and my information will pop up there. So there it is.
Oh, nice. New tech.
There it is.
New tech.
You
And,
spared no expense.
as usual, Striker Dragoon here, the commish. Very, very nice little stuff at the bottom there.
Yep. And we are wait, hold on. Before I get to that, we do understand that there's something a little missing here. Something missing, but we'll get to that later. But as always, we are the Four Corners of Commentary. As I said earlier, this is our 1 year celebration, our 1 year anniversary. Shout out to everybody who's supported, who has been there from the very beginning. This is literally the day that we started this podcast.
Juneteenth, baby.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And today's Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Excuse me. So shout out to everybody, ancestors, people who are still alive, all that good jazz. The future of everybody, meaning our kids and grandkids and all of them. But yeah, today is real special for us. If y'all don't mind me just going into a small little diatribe, it really only took us 2 weeks to start this. We had a quick conversation. Well, it wasn't quick, but we definitely had a conversation, and between the four of us, and everything just clicked. It without these three gentlemen that I've been, that I've had the pleasure to do this with. Without them, I really don't know if I would have been able to start a podcast by myself. Like, just be upfront about it. But like I said, thank you guys for supporting us. We really appreciate it. Just so y'all know, whoever's on when y'all come on the live chat, you can comment. You can comment, share. Like I said, it's a celebration. We're on for 2 whole hours live, baby, live. Hey, Stretch, what's going on, man?
And not a minute sooner, because our probation officers might have to call us during the show.
Oh my God. This is why we don't take him anywhere.
I'm fine. I can't complain. Things are going pretty well for me. Just enjoying a nice, quiet Saturday here in my home. That's all.
Yeah.
Can't ask for much more than that.
Gotta appreciate those.
The little things in life.
Excuse me, Striker, what's up?
Not much for me. I'm surviving. Still here in my old, new, humble abode. See all the space behind me. So, just as Stretch said, just enjoying a nice, quiet Saturday. No qualms, no problems.
I hear you. All right, so real quick, just if y'all just want to talk about kind of what this podcast has meant to you and just the things that we've done so far within the year. Striker, let's start with you, man.
An escape from the very, very, very crappy things that have been happening in the world, I will say, over the past maybe 2 years. A very, very great escape has this podcast been for me. Also, it's been motivation to move forward, leave everything behind and have something positive to look forward to doing every week, as opposed to, just the regular mundane everyday life things we do. But that's mine.
I hear you. Stretch.
Mostly the same. For me, it's definitely a passion project. It's an outlet. Get to come here whenever we can get together, talk pro wrestling with you guys, talk about anything with you guys. Get it out to the masses and stuff like that. It doesn't really feel like work. So for me to be able to spend time with you guys, especially during like the pandemic and stuff, things are just starting to get back to normal. Like when we started this, the world was pretty much closed off. We didn't really have anything to do. So for the world to be
True.
opening up feels strange, but this is definitely an endeavor that will keep going forward, and it's an outlet that has done me much good in my personal life and professional life as well. So
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And like I said earlier, it's the same for me. This has been, this might have started as a project for all of us to see, just kind of how far we can go. But this has really been something special. Um, and like just with us meeting, yeah, and I don't want to say meeting, but us getting together to record together, and us even the process of um going through the podcast, and the process of figuring out what we're going to do every episode, and how we're going to approach it, and just all the different tech and other things that we've used. Shout out to Pirate Studio. We appreciate y'all uh for
Preach,
for for
preach.
everything. um but yeah, man, this has been one hell of a ride so far, to be completely honest. And I expect many, 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 many more. Many more. We are a wrestling podcast. So,
Foundation, right?
so let's talk a little bit of wrestling before we get, before we get our guests on.
indeed,
Uh, you know what? Let's start with what I would like to think is the best thing going in wrestling right now.
Oh boy,
The tribal chief.
oh boy.
You're a tribal chief.
absolutely. Your
Go
tribal
ahead and escape.
man
Not,
that comes to your house and eats the big piece of chicken on a daily basis, Mr.
not my
Roman Reigns
tribal chief.
himself.
The current undisputed, undeniable,
Hmm.
the Universal Champion Roman Reigns.
Indeed.
All right, hit him,
um,
Heyman.
so as we saw, yes, with his special counsel, excuse me,
Hit it, Heyman.
his right hand man was missing last night, but seemed like the brother is on track now.
Hmm.
Excuse me, if you will.
That's what we needed.
It's what we needed. But outside of that, what do y'all think of his transformation so far, on how he's gotten back, and just the different level that he's on right now?
Uh, I guess I'll go first again.
Yeah, no matter.
Open your mouth. Go
For
ahead.
me, yeah, I I was just sighing as in like, oh gosh, I gotta speak about it. Nah, but I'm playing.
You ain't gotta talk about it. Just let him come in, punch in the face. That's it.
No, but no, but on a serious tip, about damn time. Honestly, we've been waiting to see. I mentioned John Cena because we've been waiting for the baby face or the face of the company to do such a heel turn in such a long time. We've had what, 17? No, maybe a little less. We had maybe 15 to 17 years of face Cena, and we didn't really ever see him turn. We'll see like a little bit of heelish promo work, but he still wasn't
I mean,
a heel.
Yeah,
not to
true.
interrupt you,
I
but
guess.
I don't know if it was heelish promo than it was just him speaking. You know what I mean? Than him just being real.
Hair starting to occur.
Well, tomato,
Um,
tomato, tomato, tomato. But to see the baby face of the company go full blown heel, and it was what everybody wanted. He's been phenomenal. No takeaway from AJ Styles, but this has been a phenomenal reign, a phenomenal run, and I hope we see some more stuff with it. We've got the Usos coming in now, maybe in full force, so we might actually have a trio as a stable, and who knows where it can go from here.
Right. Right. Stretch.
I think from the minute he returned, it got very interesting very fast because he interfered in the Braun Strowman versus Fiend match at SummerSlam. Nobody really knew where his, I guess alignment would be, whether he would be a face or a heel. And as soon as he appeared with Heyman, things just got ratcheted up even more. Like as far as like his presentation is concerned, I think this is the best Roman Reigns that we've ever seen. His body language does most of the talking now. He speaks very eruditely, if you will.
Mhm.
I think this is the best that he has to offer right now, and I think he's only going to get better, with time. And eventually, even if he does turn face, this might be finally, where fans universally accept him. We've always heard like the crack, oh, Roman Reigns is the face of the company, which I think is garbage. But I think this will finally, now that he has turned heel, he's one of the few faces of the company that they have turned heel and kept him in that role for quite some time now. So I'm very excited to see what his future holds.
Yeah, agreed. There's something about this Reigns that's just he's it's the next level. You know what I mean? He's definitely there's something about this Reigns. It's the menacing looks. It's the way he cuts his promos now, calm and manipulative. Excuse me. Um, and just the things that it's the little things that he does that makes this character so much more than than a lot of other characters. Like when he first when he first came back and he fought for the title, or when he was defending it maybe for the first time, when he wasn't even looking at his opponent, that was a big thing. Um, then he started respecting, or
Didn't
well,
even notice that. That's a good
I don't
point.
even want to say respecting, but then he's once the once he was on, it's like there's nothing he can do right now that can fall off, and that can make him fall off. And I also think Paul Heyman has so much to do with that. Uh, Excuse me. Still to this day, I think he's the greatest manager of all time, greatest speaker. But whatever, that's a whole nother subject. Again,
Nobody would deny that.
um, but I think Paul Heyman definitely adds a certain allure to Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I said earlier, with his cousins, coming in, and the things that he's that him and Jay has gone through, and what he's going through with Jimmy now. Who knows what this can end up as.
Yep.
But Reigns is definitely on point right now. There's really I don't think many people can touch him right now. Um, let's see what else. Monday Night Raw. You know, Bobby Lashley is champion, as we know, the
Mhm.
Almighty,
The
and
best thing on Raw. The
uh,
only good thing about
I'm
Raw.
about to say that one of the only good things on Raw.
oh man, don't listen. Alexa's great. All right, she's
Yeah,
wonderful.
Mm.
Whatever. But yeah, Bobby Lashley. How do y'all feel about his run right now? Outside of him having 16 matches with Drew McIntyre.
Um, I think for the matches with McIntyre, I think it just elevates him more.
Mm-hmm.
Not only have they had feuds outside of WWE, but also to have Drew have that crazy reign for over a year through the pandemic. I would say he elevated the title to a point where you need to have these matches with Lashley just to push him over that hump. Within the few months we've had him as champion so far, you've been seeing the promo work elevate. You've been seeing the character elevate. You've been seeing him be a lot more visceral, as he should be. But I think Drew is the perfect person to put him over that hump, because Drew has been booked as a monster throughout the whole pandemic. So
Right.
I think put the final nail in the coffin with him at Hell in a Cell and be done with that.
Got you. Real quick, I just want to shout out Ant. Thank you for the shout out. What's going on, brother? How you feeling? Stretch. What about you, man?
Bobby Lashley. and you can mark my words when I say this, he is my pandemic MVP. Throughout the entire pandemic, nobody has had a better build than Bobby Lashley. He has been booked strongly since the pandemic has started, since last year's WrestleMania up until now. You will be hard pressed to see any fault with Bobby Lashley. They gave him a classic old school finisher in the full Nelson that makes him look like a god because I wouldn't want to be put in that hold and I want Lashley to touch me with strength. He
Nope.
has the entourage, he has the mouthpiece and MVP. They might have done a stupid thing by breaking up the Hurt Business, but it did not hurt Bobby Lashley. He is
True.
the almighty WWE champion. Put respect on that man's name. He is the MVP of WWE and the pandemic era. Thunderdome be damned. He is the almighty WWE champion.
All right, so it's funny you mentioned that because
I
that's
ain't saying nothing
actually
else for the rest of the show.
well, that was actually a really good segue because that was actually my next question. It was going to be who has shined the most, shown the most. Yeah, I speak English. I swear.
Sunshine.
Who has shined the most during this pandemic era? Your pick Stretch was Bobby. I have two in particular. One is Bailey, which I feel that
Oh, yeah, I
everybody can
feel that's a
agree
good
she
choice.
has from the character change when we still have fans to what she did with the SmackDown Women's title. I mean, absolutely amazing. All the feuds, the double titles, the tag matches with her and Sasha, and then the feud with her and Sasha, and then also what she's doing now with the second person I was going to talk about the pandemic, Bianca Belair. Bianca has stepped up and done some amazing things since she's been on SmackDown. And with her as women's champion right now, I mean, there's nothing anybody can say about this woman. She has the style, she has the presence, she has the belt, the title. She has many title reigns to go. Um, Stretch, not Stretch. Excuse me, Striker.
Yes.
Too many S's. Um, what about you, man? Who do you think?
Pandemic MVP? Is that what we're
Sure.
asking? How about NXT? NXT
As a
is
whole,
very much
absolutely.
as a whole pandemic MVP. And ratings aside, we don't do ratings here. We're not talking about ratings. NXT has been very consistent throughout the garbage we've been seeing from the main roster. Even though they are considered a third brand, all the crap we've dealt with through Raw and SmackDown, trying to get to at least this point where they're both at right now, even though Raw's been a bit of the trenches right now, NXT has been consistent throughout the whole pandemic. And the changes they've done, whether it was no crowds, whether it was to, insiders only in the building, to now having fans for an event, they've kept it consistent through and through. And they've built stars. They've built stars that they can right now send up half of the roster up to the main roster if they really wanted to. But they've built a whole brand full of stars. And to say that, compared to the more established counterparts of Raw and SmackDown, that's crazy to me. And not only are they building stars, but even the release stars, they're getting a chance to, have opportunities. We had Drake Maverick, who got released, who came back, and now he's fully back on the roster, tagging with Killian Dane. And now you have people like Samoa Joe, who just popped up this week.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
NXT not only is, the brand of, I can't say perfection just yet, but damn near perfection. And then they're also the land of second opportunities. So even if you get lost in the shuffle on the main roster, you have people coming back. Finn came back as well. Breezango came back to NXT as well. So to be the place that I would consider the main roster, that would be NXT compared to the other two.
Agreed. NXT is definitely haven't fallen off. I want to say they definitely had the easiest transition to the pandemic era. I think having a small arena helped. Considering there wasn't that many fans in the building anyway. But yeah, everybody on NXT is really just put their game face on, and from management down. I mean, NXT has definitely been amazing. Has definitely been wonderful. Excuse me. Uh, One more topic before we start to go into guests and everything. AEW.
I was about to say that. Let's give him some AEW.
AEW. Uh, Overall, from the beginning of pandemic to now, we have Kenny Omega as the world champion. He's also the world champion of Impact. He's
Yep.
also the world champion of AAA.
Yep.
So that man is currently the belt collector in the
Mm.
wrestling world, or one of many. Excuse me. The Young Bucks are the current tag team champions. The Super Elite is a thing. We've seen the Good Brothers on AEW. We've seen quite a number of people hold that TNT title. Right now, Miro is champion. And
A very good reign so far.
Yes, and Dr. Britt
Mhm.
Baker, DMD, is the current women's champion. She
Defeated
just won that
Hikaru
recently.
Shida. Mm-hmm.
So, what do y'all think of AEW, of all of their everything they're doing on YouTube? As we know, Rampage is coming out soon in August. What do y'all think of AEW and what they've done for the business so far?
I'll go first on this one. I think AEW is great. I think AEW is great for the business as a whole because number one, it's another place for talent to go. I will say this about AEW. I think their highs have been really high, but I think their lows have been really low. So I think it's a good to great product, but when they're bad, I think they're pretty bad also. But is it as bad as Raw? Absolutely not. With that said, I think AEW still has a lot of room to grow, talent wise and production wise as well. But what I do enjoy about AEW is that you do get something a little bit different from the norm. They do have a little bit of something for everyone. And I think that's the best part of their product. And I think they should, if they keep trending in this direction, they got nowhere else to go but up.
Right. Striker.
What can I say about AEW? To be in the midst of the NBA playoffs and still come out with surprise after surprise after surprise, for the duration of the pandemic, I think they did what best they could to stay afloat. The transitional period of champions, I think, now that the pandemic is slowly, still going away, but slowly but surely going away, we're starting to see the transition of champions. I think they're starting to bring in a lot more serious people. They're starting to have more serious reigns, I would say. And I think once the reign of the super elite is over, we're really going to start to see AEW blossom. Not taking anything away from Kenny and the Bucks. They didn't have any big title or major titles, for over a year and change. They deserve their due because a lot of people are asking why aren't they champions. But I do fully appreciate, what they've been doing since the pandemic, and they've been giving people from all over a place to wrestle. We have Impact, we have AAA, we have New Japan, and that's a big one because Japan didn't want to mess with anybody during the pandemic. They didn't want anybody, traveling out of Japan, and they barely wanted anybody coming into Japan for events and stuff like that. So to even see Yuji Nagata coming there, to see Kenta, even though he lives in Florida, we know he lives in Florida, to see him pop up, to see people like Red Narita, to see Kojima and Impact.
Yeah, even John going, him showing up on the New Japan Strong, even though that's U.S.
Except Florida, yeah.
Yeah, even watching Finjuice come over to Impact and things like that. It's been, the pandemic has shown a lot of things, like
Yeah.
a lot of things. But if there's
Definitely.
one thing, the wrestling industry can strive even in situations like this, which I think is one of the biggest outcomes.
Takeaways.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, takeaways. Is that a lot of businesses can still strive, even with something like a pandemic, a global a global pandemic, a global shutdown. Something I wanted to bring up to you guys was who in AEW do you think, especially once again, with kind of sticking within this pandemic era situation, uh, who in AEW do you think has grown the most or held it down the most, if you would?
I could
Question.
probably give 3 names. For me, Jungle Boy tremendously has grown, even though I believe Jurassic Express was off TV for a while. I don't know if that was injury related to just the trio themselves. But Jungle Boy has grown tremendously. He's about to have a huge title match. And I say huge because even though he had a title match with Jericho, like, you can see the seeds of a future star when he had that match, or the 2 matches with Jericho, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But to have him in a match with Kenny Omega, and they're both basically, well, he's not in his prime yet, but to have Kenny basically in his prime and Jungle Boy still up and coming, and they can, clash with each other at the same speed, at the same power and stuff like that. Like, that match is going to be amazing. Right. The other 2 would be Orange Cassidy. He's evolved from just a jokey character, even though we know he's not a jokey character outside of, the Orange Cassidy character.
Right.
But to actually see him very serious now with his character when he's wrestling, especially in big time matches, huge improvement. And the last one, I will probably say Britt Baker. Britt Baker's transition to champion, or her pathway to champion, even through her injury, her promo work has been fire. So I can't necessarily knock that at all. But that's my 3.
Cool. Stretch, you got one?
I got a quick one really quick, just in the interest of time. I'm just going to say their intro really quick. AEW! The Acclaimed have arrived! I think the Acclaimed are awesome. I think they're the best act in AEW, personally. I think they're fresh. I think their gimmick is original, as far as like him freestyle rapping his way and insulting his opponents during his entrance. Cena did the whole freestyle rap thing during promos and stuff. He's doing it during his entrance. I think that is awesome. Platinum Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, I think they're future tag team champions. I think the Acclaim is the next big act in AEW as far as tag teams, and that's saying a lot.
That's big.
Honestly, I'm just gonna do it like this. That women's division, Hikaru Shida, she's held down that title and held down the pandemic era and put on some fantastic matches from beginning to end. Every single match she's done has been on point. And very lastly, I think at least when it comes to feuds, the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa feud has been bananas.
Thunder Rosa as well.
That match, it's been crazy. But ladies and germs, we have our first guest coming on the podcast. She represents the Jobber Tears Network. Good friend of mine. I know her. She's cool. She smiles. Virgos. What up? All the Virgos. Shout out to the Virgos. Here is Janelle from HR. Hey.
Switch it up.
Tech difficulty.
There we go.
Oh, no. I should probably do it this way.
What's going on?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Apologies for the background. I'm actually at work.
Hey, listen. You do what you got to do, girl.
But
this is where my tax dollars are going.
It is. Unfortunately. Since MTA can't get it right.
Hey.
This is where it's going.
Yeah.
No, guys, thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being on.
Because I'm never on the other side. So whenever I am, I'm like, this is weird.
Awkward.
This is not my normal thing. But thank you guys for having me, and congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
And feel it right here in the heart. Thank you.
Once again, shout out to all the Virgos.
Yeah, you already know. Virgos
I heard
all day.
it and I was just like, Yes.
So Janelle, first off, once again, thank you for being on. We really
Oh,
appreciate it. This means a
absolutely.
lot. My first and foremost, please let them know the podcast and the network you represent, and just give some info.
Lord, it's just it's grown over such a short amount of time. But I am one third of the Java Tears podcast, along with Sir Wilkins and Mr. Black. We started the podcast almost now going on 3 years.
Wow.
Where it's been a ride. So the boys are actual brothers, and I always start off by saying that because that energy is just very different. Um, so we started the podcast, and then maybe a year and a half in, we started to invite some good friends of ours to also get in the podcast world. So that's where the network was created, where we have a few other podcasts. So we have Your Sports, which represents Dre, Tavia, Pete, and Matt. We have Sasson Talk, which is with me and Amanda. Two and a Half Bros, which Wilkins, Lawrence, and Roro's on. Trying to figure out, so like Mr. Black Show.
So many.
It's just the list goes on and on. But we wanted to create a platform where it didn't have to always just to be about wrestling. So we do have some other podcasts that do divvy into the sports and divvy into real life situations and things like that. So we just wanted to give an overall network feel on the network. So we have that. And then as of right now, we're in the process of doing our own wrestling show along with Battle Club Pro.
Mhm.
Which will be Saturday, July 31st. We're really excited to have that and to be able to do something we've been working on for the past year and a half. COVID kind of halted everything, but we got back on the bandwagon and decided to really put the show on, and so we're really excited about that.
Yeah, I when I first saw that, I was real excited too. Just to see you guys, and I mean, granted, if we go a little personal, we've known each other for.
Oh my God, how old is your child?
I know, right?
How
I
old is your
know. At
child?
least, honestly, at least 8 years at this
It's
point.
it's so
When
funny because I remember personal tidbit. I remember Tiffany telling me that she was pregnant at a viewing party, and I thought she was joking. So I was just sitting here like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, what? And I think you were there too. So it just was like, and it could have been
right,
like one of the first few times I met you. So I was just
yep,
like, what are we
right.
talking about? But no, so that's why I'm actually really proud of you for like the
Appreciate it.
podcasting. No, if you're not in it, you don't really know the dedication and the commitment that goes
Right,
into it.
right.
So it's just really good to see, you doing your own thing and branching out as well, because it's not easy. Like, I
It's
always
damn
look
sure
at the
not.
podcast and I'm like, how did we get here?
Yo,
Where did
even doing it. The funny thing with podcasting is even doing it with other people. It's in trying to get schedules together and making sure everybody's on point, and even checking yourself to make sure you're good. It's so much.
it's a
It's so much
process?
more difficult than what people think it is. Like, it's not
Hmm.
just getting a microphone and getting a pair of headphones and just talking. It's hard work. It's setting everything up. Sometimes it's editing. Sometimes it's promotion. Sometimes there's just so much
It's a
when it
lot of
comes to
different,
podcasting.
yeah, it's a lot of different avenues and things you got to put into, like, but the one thing I will say is it's definitely brought us all closer together, which I'm always appreciative of. That was my
Yeah.
always thing, is wrestling's always been that one thing that's been constant and that's always brought everyone together. So it's
Right.
really cool to have that, and then also still having the viewing parties,
Yep.
and things like that, and just the amount of guests we've been able to have um on our show.
Right.
It's been really, really dope. Like, I mean, the list is actually rather long that I don't want to go into,
So long. It's so
but
many people.
it is. But I'll name a few, just the like my faves. I mean, all of them are dear to my heart, but there are a few that are like, those are
just,
my babies.
just inch it just a little bit over. Yeah.
The one with definitely Crime Time. So each we had one with JTG and our beloved Shad Gaspar. We had interviewed them.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. to Shad.
So those are old. Those two are definitely on the list. The Leo Rush one is one of my faves because I always say he worked us. So when he went on, so when he was the Joker
Yes.
in the wild card in
Yes.
the battle royal, and then he retired the next day, I was just like, this is exactly around the time we had the interview last year with him, and he did the exact same thing. So I don't believe that, but I want him to be healthy and well, so that'll be that. But
Yes.
he done worked us once, and
Right.
literally he did the interview. He spoke about the stuff with Mark Henry, and literally TMZ reported it like 2 days later. So it was just like someone is listening. We don't know who, we don't know why, because it was just too coincidental at that point.
Right.
We had Jazz on not too long ago. That was actually that was a pretty good one and a favorite of mine. I'm trying to think who else. I feel like we had Shaw Guerrero. That was one of my favorites too.
Wow.
The daughter of the late great Eddie Guerrero. She was on. Like, we were going wild during the pandemic. Like, COVID actually was a gift and a curse. It made us just focus on the brand and focus on getting people on versus doing so many different things. But that one, and then it's too many. Like,
it's so many.
It really is when I think about it. Like, we just had everyone says he's controversial, but he actually wasn't that bad. We had Brad Shepard on the other night.
Yeah,
the other night.
I
watched that one.
So, and I thought he was not a bad guy. Like, I was just like, okay, like, granted, I don't agree with everything he was saying, but I think that's the beauty in wrestling and the beauty about podcasting is not everything is you're gonna agree on.
Right.
So you can have a conversation. You can see the other person's point of view. So it just was interesting to kind of like talk to him. He was talking about his beef with Uncle Dave and other people in the industry. So it's just we've been blessed to have so many people to support us and to pass the word around. Like, I remember crazy story. One like indie show me and Mr. Blackhat went to, and Nyla Rose was there. It was like one of their last, like, it was Sunny Kiss was there too. It was one of their last like indie shows before they got onto AEW. And literally she stopped us and said, "I love your podcast." And we were all like,
"What?
Who are you talking about?"
That is a stamp of approval right there.
Like, it's so funny. Like, we've had, like, when we go live, we've had like Willie Mack come on and like shout us out. Will Hobbs will come on and shout and be like, "I'm watching." Like, we'll have so many random people like really hop on, and we'll just be like, "What?" Like. So it's just really cool. But we've been beyond blessed. Like, I will absolutely say, like, it's definitely hard work. It's definitely been a roller coaster. It's our first year. I don't know how many fights we've gotten into. But we can
speak on that one.
I've had too many knockdown dragouts, but we're getting there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, until you have an actual hole in the wall, then we can talk.
I hear you.
Then we can chat.
Troy did throw that shake weight at me once.
Oh, that is true.
No, that's not true. I'm kidding. That's right. Don't mind me.
No. I don't do that.
Don't spread rumors on your own stuff because it'll run wild.
Hey, Janelle, real quick. Something I wanted you to speak on real quick. So, as we mentioned earlier, we've known each other for quite some time now, and not only have we watched each other grow when it comes to the wrestling industry or this podcast, but even as people.
Absolutely.
Because girl, you know.
Boy, do I know.
But something that always kind of gravitated or stuck in my mind was all the opportunities that you had to do other things. You commentating was one of the coolest things that I personally remember.
Hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Girl, I'm dying to commentate. Dying.
Oh my god, it is hard.
Dying.
I always tell people, like, don't tell people that I do it because it's so hard. No, but as you mentioned, yeah, like we've had so many different opportunities, off of the podcast.
Right.
Like Sir Wilkins right now is training at Hustle Glory under
Yes, he
Amazing
is.
Red.
Wow.
We just watched
So
him. I just watched him take that Spanish fly.
Spanish Fly, it's
So
crazy
proud.
because his first match, I probably would like, I'll laugh, I'll cry, like I'll have a ball of emotions because
Yeah.
I'll have that like mom, that soccer mom feel, like that's
Yup.
my baby, but he's not my baby, he's my bestie. So him doing that, I think also for Mr. Black being able to just coming out of his own shell and
Yeah.
finding groups of other podcasters that are like him, that like to smoke, that like to chill, that like to talk about anime, like all that stuff. Like it just brings out the best, I think, of all of us. But for me doing commentary, like I said, I've been nothing but blessed. Like it was definitely an opportunity that I've had a few times. And special shout out to Miss Faye Jackson because a lot of those
God.
opportunities wouldn't have been
Yes.
possible without her. Like the one I was booked for Mania like weekend. Like I was like, me?
Man.
Moi?
Mhm.
So to be able to do commentary alongside with Tasha Steeles, who is family, like
Yep.
sis to the maximum. To be able to do commentary with her was just a ball. It was fun. I think once my nerves get away and I just have fun with it, then it's okay. But leading up to it, if you ask anyone, they're like, I always say, I'm shitting my pants. Like
Right.
I don't want to do it. Like,
Right.
and I'll say no. Like I'll tell everyone else, no, I don't want to do it. And then when the person that needs the answer, I'll be like, okay, I'll do it. It's fine.
Right. Real quick before I get you off.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Nah, real quick before we
Pause.
slide out.
Cut.
Pause.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, it's a relationship, all right? Can't help it. What is it to you being a female Black podcaster that is so important and even as role models? Because we know a lot of these people listening to Jobbeteers have children and have daughters, and that's something that's of course that's near and dear to me as I have my own. What is it to maybe inspire not only just people of color, but people of color who are also women?
It's a huge responsibility. Like, and I try not to think of it in that sense because then I overthink the overthink.
Right.
But I know for me, the things that I do, whether it's in wrestling, in podcasting, it's a way for other people to do the same things. Like I always say, like I'm here to open the door. I don't want to be here. Like I'm here for a good time, not a long time, kind of thing.
Right.
And I feel like it's super important to have that representation, and it actually is the basis of why we started doing the podcast, because we didn't see a lot of people that looked like us talk about wrestling, or it was cool to talk about wrestling.
Right.
And then once we kind of got the ball rolling and everyone, kind of jump aboard, a lot of people came up to us and was just like, you guys have inspired us. You guys have, made a way and supported us in a way no one else has. And it's just, for me, it's a pay it forward type of situation where it's like, listen, we didn't have those means growing up, but I want to be able for, my friends' daughters and daughters to be able to have an opportunity to do commentary, have an opportunity to have a podcast, to be able to throw their own wrestling show. Like to me, I'm in the business of making history. And I think with this show that we're doing, it's definitely going to leave a mark on the indie scene. So that's why we're very, very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Because I can say, like, if tomorrow or after July 31st, if I was like, fuck all this, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm done. I know I've done everything I was supposed to do.
Right. I hear you.
And I think it's just it's a wonderful, it's an interesting ride that I look back and I'm like, I didn't think this was gonna go down this way.
Yep.
But I'm glad, and it's been fun. It's been awesome. It's been one hell of a ride. But to be that representation, that's what matters the most to me. Especially, I guess, as appropriate as it's Juneteenth, and now it's a federal holiday. Thank you, Uncle Joey.
Right.
But it's super important, and I think the more and more women of color are in wrestling.
Right.
I have a very dear friend of mine. She, she's working within the WWE needs, and to see that, and then the two new writers they have on SmackDown is women of color. And
Wow.
to have next Friday the 26th, this amazing girl Taylor, she's throwing an all women of color show in Jersey.
Awesome.
Cheap plug for her, but it's called
Hey.
Black Girl Magic. And her main event is Jazz versus Trish Adora.
Ooh.
Wow.
Which
Nice.
she
Heavy
has
match.
that.
Mhm.
She has a few other matches, but to see other women stepping forward and doing these things and
Right.
changing the game,
Right.
I tell all the boys all the time, there's no excuses now. Like, we've come out of a pandemic. Some people say a parallelogram, whatever it is, we've come out of. There are no excuses. The time is now, as the iron is hot, to really start just making a change and making a difference in wrestling. So
Sure.
I'm blessed beyond measures, and I'm thankful of the people that support us. I'm thankful of the people we've encountered. And really it's just I feel like the beginning. It's just feel like we're at the beginning still.
Yeah. No, there
Like,
ain't
it's
nothing wrong with
weird.
that though.
It's so weird, but we've come a long way, and just to be, I'm always the girl in the group, so it's just always like, it's me.
Yep.
It's just me.
Yep.
But it's okay, because I've been like that since a little girl. Like, it's always just,
Hey.
I've always gravitated to the guys, so it's
Hey,
okay.
ain't nothing wrong with that.
I can
Nothing
always
wrong with that.
infiltrate. I can infiltrate the boys' club more. So
Right, talk about you get your own leather. You're good. You're good.
yeah. And then they'll all say, like, oh, they always like, they're like you more. So, like, even the boys now, they'll send everyone to come talk to me, because they're like, they
Right.
like you. They don't like us. And it's like, oh God.
Alrighty,
But
Janelle,
it's okay.
thank you so much.
Thank
I
you for
am
having
so
me on.
appreciative.
Oh,
Real quick,
anytime.
plug your stuff real quick and everything, all the events coming up.
Can always follow the Java Tears podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter on the Bluebird. That is not I don't have no parts of that, but the boys do. You can subscribe to our YouTube page, where you can find not only our podcast, but all of our podcasts under our network, at the Java Tears podcast on YouTube. As I mentioned, Saturday, July 31st, we will have Jobber Slam finally. So stay tuned for more information on that. It will be in the city. So just keep in mind in that. But we're super excited. As I mentioned, the main event will be Big Swole from AEW versus Tasha Steelz of Impact. And then we got a few other knockers around that
Little
will start.
surprises.
We'll start. Hopefully the UK will get it together so we can get Simon here.
Hey.
So we're crossing fingers on that. But
Oh yeah.
thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you
Super
for
proud of
gracing
you
us with your
guys.
presence.
Oh, I try, even though I'm on the clock. It's okay.
Hey.
anything for family,
Always.
because he knows he's family. So
Hey,
anything for
always.
you guys. If you need anything, let me know. That's what we're here for. It's strength in numbers, and that's always been my motto.
Absolutely.
So it's always been
Amen.
like, how can we help you? So I'm in that position of, how can I help you?
Yep.
Instead of me just doing it. I'd rather everyone else do it. I don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
Gotcha.
But you guys, congrats.
Thank you.
Much success, much blessings to you guys. Keep going. When you don't feel like you don't want to record, because that's me every week. Thursdays on the Java Tears podcast, I tell my boyfriend all the time, I don't want to record. And then I get there, he's like, yo, you're the only person that knows how to switch it on and off, and it's ridiculous. And I'm just like,
it's a talent. It's a talent.
It's just unprofessional. It's okay. But guys, take care. Let me know if you need anything. And once again, congrats.
Thank you, Janelle.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank you.
give
Thank
a
you.
round of
Thank you
applause
for joining
out.
us.
We'll get it out. Later, sis. Alrighty. That was
I'm
Miss
very
Janelle
proud.
from HR representing the Java Tears podcast. It was awesome.
Very proud of hear that. I'm
Yeah,
glad
it's
that they have an upward trajectory, and they're only going to get bigger. I'm very
Right,
proud of those
right.
boys and very happy for them.
Yeah, definitely.
And her as well.
Definitely, yes.
Can't leave her out.
And folks, please
Works
check
very
them
hard.
out. They're doing nothing but big things. They have been doing nothing but big things for quite some time. Also, if you are in the New York area, majority of the pay-per-views, if not all of the pay-per-views, they hold at Legends Bar. If things change, they'll let you know. But definitely subscribe to them. Our next guest, this man is cool as hell. I don't even know how else to put it. He's dope as hell. He is the Wolf King, Mr. Marcus Gray.
Bring our brother in, man.
Too kind.
What's going on, bro?
Far too kind, boy.
Wrong person.
Far too kind. Thank you. Oh my God, I can't even deal.
There you
I
go.
can't even deal right now. Yo, man.
I gotta get used to the
now
buttons. I
we're
gotta get
free.
used to the buttons.
Oh, I can talk good. You guys caught me on a great level. Actually, this is the first time ever, full transparency. I've worn my glasses. I usually wear contacts, but nope. As far as Mr. Marvel, Stretch, and Strike, y'all got me feeling like just in my zone right now.
Man. Yeah.
Well, listen, brother.
We here, brother. We here.
Dude, we're here, man.
Y'all.
Celebration. I'm definitely appreciative for you coming on. Same thing. Listen, folks, all our guests, majority of our guests got podcasts. So first and foremost, sir, please plug.
Absolutely. Plug your stuff.
Allow me, if I may. The infamous Marcus Gray, part of the podcast, The Bird and the Villain. It's amazing. We have multitudes of guests, AEW, ND, and beyond. We talk about all things wrestling, Indian nitty-gritty things. AEW is primarily what we talk about, but we're trying to shift into varying things because as we can see, the wrestling world's changing, constantly changing, guys. Like that's one thing that it's hard because, I mean, I don't know, I can only speak for myself. I'm a happy millennial boy, and I grew up in the Attitude Era, smack dab in the Attitude Era.
Just like us.
Yep. You remember going to school the next day, guys?
Yeah.
You talked to your friends about it. It wasn't you were a nerd. We all talked about it.
Yep.
We all did. Raw was our.
We talked about it with teachers. Shoot.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I made my first real friend in wrestling. His name is Robert Hoover. Yes, that's a vacuum cleaner, but yes, I made my first friend. I did what the rest of our friends did. We practiced wrestling moves on each other.
Yep.
In full transparency, I watched till I was in 11th grade. I was still getting ladies. Boys, I'm saying, I'm still getting ladies. Nothing wrong with that. But as always, there was that drop after the Attitude Era. You have, Ruthless Aggression, which I watched John Cena win, but I sort of trudged off, and as Facebook got filled more and more with old people and grandparents, I made the likely progression over to Twitter, and I met a lot of my peers that liked what I like. Unfortunately, wrestling just wasn't resonating for me anymore. It didn't feel the same. I remember I used to get excited for pay-per-views. I drop all that. I do all those things. And then out of nowhere, there was a lovely hashtag. Forgive me for gabbing. Sorry, I'm so excited.
No, go ahead.
No.
The floor is yours.
Go right ahead, man.
If I can hit the core matters, like one of the things I was here hustling from the last one, and there's not many black guys doing what we're doing, guys.
Right.
That's why it's humbling. It's funny enough, of all the things I've been through, with podcasts, talking to my peers, this is the first time I'm trying not to shake. My laptop keeps shaking. It's just and it's not an intimidation factor. Man, it's not Stretch. It's not intimidation, bro. I'm with my peers.
Listen.
Yes.
Well, he is quite tall. He's like at least 10'6". So,
brother.
So
very nice.
All you have to do is duck or he'll hit the rim. It's crazy.
Very funny.
I'm going
to sit up straight. The camera will probably cut that off. So
you got to slouch.
I'm actually sitting at an angle now as you're talking. It's funny that he mentioned
it's wow because we don't have this. We have many analysts, historians, even moments in wrestling that, if I can be bold, guys, are predominantly you don't see these massive moments for black men.
No,
absolutely.
I don't know.
And Rick Swann had that amazing Impact match, and that resonated with a lot of us. And out there in the IWC, and if I can be bold and I can be blunt, because I think this is the time where we have a talent. Black men, black women have a voice. We're very creative. You guys are so creative. The four corners, y'all literally, I don't shake during podcasts. That's not me. That's not. I feel like there's a bar that you guys have set, even without being in here, that excites me in a way that I don't want to say the wrong things or do the wrong things, but I feel a kindred spiritship. That's
all we do.
Right. look at how far we've came, though. Yeah, you got artists like Red Velvet. You got artists like Big Swole. You got still veterans like Jazz. You got Booker T. You got, but there's all sorts of, nuanced things and asterisks toward our achievements.
Right.
But to be able to make strides and have a podcast and work on Best Day Ever, because I don't know if you guys know, I'm one of those rare guys. If you ever see EFED polls, the polls vote for me.
Yep.
I'm one of those brothers.
Well,
Did
actually,
you like look at the back?
yeah.
Actually, my head.
Look
See
at the
that
titles
baby
in the
back
back.
there? You see
Oh
her?
shoot! Yeah,
Oh,
I see
yeah.
him.
Well,
That is
Look
a
at that.
bad championship.
Wolf King.
Sorry.
That's actually something it was a great segue because that's something I wanted to get into real quick. What is it about being an e-fed? And for the viewers out there, e-feds are exactly what it sounds like.
Right.
Electronic Federation.
Federation.
On Twitter and some Facebook pages and social media, people have created these
Characters.
social media
Mhm.
federations.
Federation.
And this man who over here somewhere,
I'm
he
here.
has joined us.
Yeah.
He's a big part of it. So Marcus, could you please shed a little light on that and why it's so important to you?
I will break it down like a fraction. Basically, I got into I have a few friends like in the IWC who are doing eFads, and effectively, it's like you said, you vote on it. People say vote for me, and usually it was a type to text method where people would text out like full transparency. Pow! I knocked him out. I run down to the ring. I pin him, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't want to do that. So, and I'm gonna make a few people slightly shady, but I'm gonna break it down. I keep it honest like a fraction. I decided I want to do video promos. I'd rather you see Twitter's a go thing. But let me tell you something. You see a caramel skinned brother with a lot of tattoos talking about something holding the title. I'm gonna listen for 40 seconds. That's that resonated and built a little bit. I joined a federation called PWE, and I held their Intercontinental title, which is the second title up there. Oh my God, it was for like 9 months. I was spitting out video promos. And I was like, you know what? I should make up storylines for these things. So me and my friend, I don't know if you guys ever watched Best Day Ever. If you've seen every Wednesday, it's that lovely little vanilla woman and that staunch white man in the videos with me we make videos all the time. Make videos, we do that. We do. It's like, you guys ever remember Home Movies with Brendan Small?
Yeah. Yep.
That's us. Literally, that's all we do. Always that sound. But that's my outlet, guys. Like, that's my creative outlet. Before that, I was modeling, and I loved it because I met a lot of ladies. But I digressed. I still do it for COVID. I digressed. But back to eFeds. I got into that, and eventually I joined another eFed WWE, and I won the world title. It was cool. It was fun. It was a good way to meet friends. But unfortunately, gentlemen, if I may,
Blaze up.
If I meet people,
Don't worry about it. We're
Blaze up.
Twitter stems content, jealousy, and I mean, honestly, like I said, the more creative you are, that's why I admire creative minds. It makes me want to push myself, but I don't throw shade. Naturally, people are going to emulate what works, so it started to work. But then, as in all group chats, as in all combined things, where you have a bunch of people giving opinions, certain opinions resonate, and you can talk to a person.
Right.
But some people are always right. And some people got to keep it real. And some people got to tell you to let you know that even though we're characters, we're effectively playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like, full transparency, we're playing live action Dungeons and Dragons. But people get caught up in it. They really start diving into these characters, and you'll see it. You'll see people get mad. You'll see Twitter feuds. So it's pluses and minuses. It's it's whatever you're willing to take as far as thick skin goes. Right. If I can ask a question though, guys. How long have you guys been doing this? Because I'm kind of like, I want to dig a little bit. How long have you guys
celebration, sir? No, well, I mean, we've been doing this for a year, so it's kind of, at the top of the show, I mentioned that it was really it moved so fast. We literally spoke about it, and then within 2 weeks, we released our first episode. So this has been one hell of a ride for us, also, especially during the pandemic era. This is, if anything, it has definitely, pushed a lot of us, especially people of color, to do the things that they want to do and do the things that they want to love and use their voice and use their abilities to their fullest, which I can fully appreciate. I try not to be jealous or spiteful. It's just not worth it.
You've been so supportive.
So just seeing. Like seeing our last guest, Janelle from HR, and Jobber Tears, and seeing the growth that they've had, and knowing them, or knowing at least two of them personally, it fueled that fire. One of the very last things I want to talk to you, man, and and no offense to Stretch and Striker and QS when he comes back to the show, but
Yeah.
You and I both have daughters, sir.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
both right around the same age.
Yes.
And they're cute as a stinking button, like
Sir.
adorable.
Mhm.
So my question to you, and we can go into this at a later date.
Sure enough.
But my
Yeah.
question to you is, as not only a man of color,
Yes.
but a girl dad,
Yeah. Yeah.
what is it about wrestling and having her watch it with you that warms you up and or strives for you to do more with your podcast or with the federation?
Bro, that's like the Divas real, and I've been as much as I've been dying for you to ask me that because I was waiting because I gabbed, man. I'm sorry, I gabbed. That's but I've been waiting. I've been dying to ask you almost a similar question like that. Like, dude, it's almost another element because full transparency, that's my one and only daughter. I'm a 90.
Same.
My daughter's upstairs watching the Willoughbys on Netflix. That's what I need 15 minutes. That's what I need 15 minutes. But it's my one and only daughter. I'm a 90. My daughter's upstairs. It's really humbling because a girl is like you, bro. A girl is like you. In a lot of ways, your daughter is so much like you, and it scares you because you can have that with your son, but your daughter likes you and she listens. One thing that humbled me is because my mom said I was going to read, bro. My mom said I was going to read because I was cutting up, but she opened my eyes to a lot of things about women, a lot of things about being a father, a lot of things about being strangers, and wrestling is our way to connect. She wants to either be a cheerleader or a wrestler. Yeah, that's what she wants. I mean, she could be a fairy princess. I don't care, but her whole thing is that's our thing. She's like, Daddy, I know you like wrestling, and she loves it. So that's our thing, and it's real, man.
Man.
Is that the same for you?
Yeah, very much so. Even now, she's definitely getting more into wrestling now, because kind of decided to not let her do it as much when she was a little younger, or to follow as much.
Right.
But like right now, she's on it. She knows, like, ever since the podcast. Oh, Daddy, you doing a podcast? Yeah. Oh, so I can't bother you? No.
You're doing it, man. She's upstairs waiting for me to get done.
Yup, just waiting. But watching her, like, as of right now, Bianca is her girl. Bianca Belair, shouts out to Bianca Belair. That is her girl right now. So she is like ready for Comic-Con, ready to cosplay. She's ready to go. So it does bring that warmth to your heart. You know, even if she doesn't want to be a wrestler or she doesn't want to be in the industry, it's still cool to share that. And as if you know me, y'all know I'm a big ass nerd. So
bro,
as we all are, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So even when Into the Spider-Verse came out and her loving Spider-Gwen and looking at me when it was over, going, Daddy, I said, yeah. She goes, I want to be her for Halloween, and then my fingers just started twiddling. It really is a whole different feeling, a whole different aspect.
Do you get scared though?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Like,
just watching them grow.
You get scared with her, like, is everything you want to shield her, right? You want to shield.
Yeah, of course.
The thing, the women's industry for wrestlers, you remember the speaking out movement? That's scary. My daughter wants to be a wrestler. Like, how can you do knowing that, Kay? Real quick, I'm sorry, I know, but I'm gonna ask you, like, father, does that ever scare you? The real world for her?
Of course. And I try my best to live in a realm of realism,
right?
Because honestly, anything can happen at any given time, and that's with everything: your job, your relationship, your friendship, your kids. It doesn't matter what it is; anything can happen. So yes, you want to shield them, but at the same time, you want to prepare them as much as you can, because we're men, and we know how men are. So it really is to have a daughter, and no offense to any parents who have sons, we're not discrediting at all.
No.
But it's like, you know the game, so you want to prepare them. You know they're going to get hurt. You know there's going to be heartbreak, whether they're doing it or they're taking it.
Yeah.
Honestly. So it really is about just having them be able to speak and having them know that, yes, I am your parent, but you can come to me. You know what I mean? If you're not in the wrong, I will always get your back, but I'm gonna tell you straight up if you're wrong or right. So it's a tricky situation, being a girl dad. It's so and even them being young and like you're like, oh my god. So mine is 6, about to turn 7 soon, and I'm like, oh, second grade.
Yep.
You know, it's like it's nerve wracking, but watching them accomplish so much, and that's
Yes.
just having kids. Period. You know,
Oh my
watching them
God.
accomplish so much is very
It's a
it's
balance.
fulfilling.
It's a balance, though. I mean, with the girl, like you said, it's about giving. Because at one point, I mean, I don't know about you, gentlemen, predominantly women in my family. So for me, it's
Same
another
here.
element when you're raised by women. Yeah, when you're raised by women, different level of knowledge. So you
Yeah.
already have that bar to set it up. We ain't hitting females. We're not talking out of turn. That's not
Nope.
our style. I can see that from all you. That's never been
Right.
that's not the way.
You got me down to a
Scary.
thing. Got raised by nothing but women. So.
Yeah.
I wish if I would have hit my daughter's mom for God reasons, my mom would be like, "Oh, you're staying in jail." Like I never. That's
Oh,
not my.
yeah.
Like when you're in that element, it's a level of responsibility. But like you said, the
Mhm.
scary part is you want to be honest with them. But how can I tell my daughter, yes, you can do this, but there are men out there who'll exploit you. There are promoters that'll try and use, like it's a balance. But I give that extra kudos. No faults to guy dads. But for the girl, bruh, if you raising the girl right now,
There ain't
all my
nothing like
power
it.
to you.
There is nothing like it.
No,
But Wolf Kid,
sir. Yes, sir.
Marcus, thank
Yes.
you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
I will not keep you on. I will come back. Can I come back eventually at some point?
Oh, listen,
absolutely.
you will
Very
make
soon.
it.
Very
You
soon.
already know. Listen,
Yeah.
dude,
Very
I'm pretty
soon.
sure I'm not that far from you. We'll make this happen.
Now, excuse me, I gotta retweet this podcast the second I hop off. I gotta get this boy moving. You already know what time it is.
I got you. I got you.
Thank you,
We'll do a
brother.
crossover. I got you, man.
The Bird and the Villain, check me out
Yes,
at Marcus
please.
Villain. I threw my shouts out and all that other good stuff. Thank you. There it is.
Got you
gentlemen.
covered, dog. Got you
And there I
covered.
go.
All right,
Gotcha, brother.
See you guys.
Thank you,
Have
man.
a good one, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh man, that was Wolf
Woo.
King Marcus Gray.
I could listen to that man read a phone book. That was entertaining.
That's a good dude right there. That's a good cat.
Funny. That was wonderful. That was wonderful.
Before we get into something else, I just personally want to shout out Mr. Dan Ravenport for the fly ass shirt I got on. And
Wow.
because he's the
Since we are New Day brothers, I got my New Day Rocks OG T-shirt on.
Look, and I'm pretty sure Mick loves them. So,
speaking of Mick,
yep, that's that Cactus Jack. That's why I ran through it.
I had to break out the classic "Wanted Dead or Alive" Cactus Jack T-shirt.
New York.
Iconic shot.
Hey, I hear you. So, our next guest is somebody who's a friend of the podcast. He's been supporting since day one. So we're gonna give him a little bit of shine. My man Kev, the Egyptian God. What's going on, bro?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
Hey, Kev,
bro.
It's all love over here. What's going on?
We're good, brother.
Good.
So as a correspondent of the podcast, we know that you follow New Japan quite well. We also know that you've kind of, kept your eye on everything. So, sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Well, let me preface my comments by saying this is not a diss. It's not any to throw jabs at anybody or higher ups in pro wrestling fans. Nah, I take that back. It kind of is. Let's start off with the recent releases from WWE. And let's start off with Braun Strowman, former world heavyweight champion, former tag team champion, even though it was a little kid, still counts. And former member of the Wyatt family. This guy was on TV week after week after week, and you decide to cut this man for budgetary reasons. I find that a little bit disingenuous. I always thought that was a little bit of BS on WWE's part, which segues into Aleister Black and Ruby Riot. I'm fans of both of these talents, both of these wrestlers. When she was known as Miss Heidi Lovelace on the independent scene, and Aleister Black when he was known as Tommy End. over in the British Isles and over in Europe for feds like Progress and ICW. That both of them did make mention, and actually another person known as Shayna Baszler also mentioned this in two different podcasts, literally a month apart, saying, there they made mention that they tried to speak to Vince. Speaking of Vince, you have more of a chance of reaching the president than to speak with Vince McMahon. They've had to wait 4 or 5 hours and just to get a meeting with this man to discuss their character development, what creative should do with them, and nothing. And I find it weird that Aleister would barely mention this, but in the next breath he would say it's nothing but positive vibes and such. With Triple H and with Vince McMahon. And both of these gentlemen, as you know, they run WWE, but they're also very tone deaf. And what I mean by tone deaf is you have phenomenal talent that can do infinitely better than what you have now. And there's no such thing as creative not having anything for the talent to thrive. I always thought that was disingenuous and non-believable either. But when I talk about Ruby Riott and Aleister Black, I just think of one word, and that's underutilized. There's no way you can have former champions such as these two on your roster. You make one during their NXT run, the NXT champion Aleister Black, give him a respectable reign. He gets a call up, and he is barely on TV. He did things with Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins where he lost his eye, and you got this guy looking like a goddamn pirate. It's like he's Captain Hook or something like that, man. It's weird. And then you have him sit at home for 6 months. The man was never injured. The man was working out in his garage with his wife and some other wrestling talent who are WWE talent. I used to watch the channel. Matter of fact, still do. And I was on Aleister's Twitch, and he made mention that there is nothing but positive vibes between him and Vince and Triple H, but you couldn't even get a decent, halfway decent meeting with him to discuss character development or anything of the like. So how can it be considered nothing but good vibes? I always thought that was a little confusing. I always thought that it was BS that this man had to sit at home for 7 months, then to come back on TV, get into a program, start a program with Big E and Apollo Crews, and then a week later the man gets fired because of budgetary reasons. I don't find that I don't find that believable at all, unless WWE plans to sell to NBC or Comcast. Now, that's no reason for anybody to lose their job. That's no reason for entire departments to be cut or to be merged. A little disingenuous and messed up on their behalf. Also want to make mention to Triple H's investor call comments concerning Mickie James. Now, if you don't know, and shout out to Mickie James and shout out to God TV, which is a grown ass women podcast with SoCal Val and Lisa Marie Varon, aka Victoria. Love their channel. Go check them out. And Triple H was asked, what do you think about Mickie James being an executive producer for the Together an all-woman show? And Triple H basically talked around in circles and said that the best women are in WWE only. I understand that you have to protect your brand. I know you have to put your brand over. I get that. But to sit back and say that only the best women in the world are in WWE. No disrespect to any of those women, but there are women in Japan. There are women in AEW. There are women over in Mexico. There are women over in the British Isles who are phenomenal workers. And for him to sit there and say that in an investor call, and to say this about a person that you just recently fired, that makes no sense to me. Now, Mickey James wants to get women on his show, whether they have a contract with AEW or any other Fed in the world, including WWE. I mean, I personally would love to see some women in the WWE, even though this is not possible, to be part of this NWA show. And I think Triple H is he means well, but he talks in circles. He can't sit there and say, well, the best women are in one Fed when there are a multitude of women where you just signed them from literally all over the place. And that's it. Now, on to Japan news. Will Ospreay is out. He's dealing with a neck injury, for those who don't know. He was the very first IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And he had to vacate that title after one successful defense. And I was glad to see Shingo Takagi, the Dragon of Los Ingobernables de Japón, taking on Kazuchika Okada. And at their show 2 weeks ago, and Shingo Takagi, who I'm a big fan of, won the belt. This was a long time coming. I'm glad to see him with the belt, and he's about to get into a match with Kota Ibushi, which I like to see. But other than that, when it comes to the dirt sheets and all that good stuff, that's all that's really going on in the wrestling world that I have found that I want to touch base on. And I would like to take the opportunity to Four Corners of Commentary for having me on, for giving me this platform. And I hope to come back and correspond some more information to you guys. And you'll be seeing a whole lot of me soon enough. Thank you for the opportunity, fellas. It means the world to me. Much love to this podcast, and that's all that's going on right now.
No problem, brother. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Anytime.
And we'll get you on. You already know.
You already know, bro.
All right. Thank you.
Bless.
Much love.
Bless.
Alrighty. If the applause stops, Jesus. Oh, my bad, Stretch. Sorry, folks. We're going live. All right. This is going to be just a little bit of hiccups.
First time.
Yeah, right. But we appreciate Kev, the Egyptian guy, coming through and doing his rants from Kev. That's our oh, sir. That's our little segment. But right now, we would like to introduce one half, 1 quarter. Listen, there's a lot of y'all. I don't know what's happening at this point. I feel like there's like 633 members. Like it's starting to look like the NWO.
Yeah,
NWO. Like
new NWO.
But first, sorry, I gotta get it ready. Let's go with we're bringing in Kofi Weaston.
Oh man, what's going on, fellas? What's going on? I hope y'all can hear me.
That was. Damn, my bad.
Y'all see me?
Yeah,
what's going on?
You good, brother?
What's going on, baby?
Representing
We here,
bro.
Yo, I love the intro, man. I loved it, man.
Oh, you already know. Listen,
a lot of
I was trying to work with the music, dog. I was trying to work with it.
Nah, cool, man. Cool. It is a lot of us, man. We like the Wu-Tang it is.
There we go.
Dirty Hills is for
Thank
children.
you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem. I'm sorry, good brother couldn't be here, man. Good brother couldn't be here, but I'm usually the guy on the weekends everybody gets.
Hey, listen, ain't nothing wrong with that either. All
Nothing
right, as
wrong with
long as
that.
one of y'all
Blessed
came to
to have
support, that's all we cared about.
I'm here though. What's
But
going
Coach,
on, man?
why don't you start with the podcast? Let them know.
Oh man, you can always check us out, man. First off, Dirty Hills Podcast, man, wrestling podcast, man. You can always check us out on IG, man, Dirty Hills _132, man. Twitter, Dirty Hills Party 1, man. YouTube, Dirty Hills Podcast, man. Just hashtag Dirty Hills or Dirty Hills Podcast. You will always find us, man. You know, always, man.
Yeah, definitely. What is it about doing this podcast that let's say fulfills your soul? Let's word it that way.
I think it was going to wrestling matches, going to the independent matches. You know, that's what really got us. You know, honestly, this podcast thing was by accident. It was nothing that we set to do on purpose. It was us trying to get in somewhere, being slick, get in somewhere, talking, and we got in for free. But we realized, oh shit, now we gotta fucking uphold our bargain, end of the bargain. So.
It's been working out well thus far. So
It's the hustle, man.
It's
It's the hustle. It's the hustle.
It's the hustle. But the most, like I said, the most exciting part is going to the independent wrestling matches, meeting everybody, hooking up with other podcasters, man. That's been like one of our biggest things. That's most exciting too, man. You know, we love to meet other people, other podcasters. So, you know, that's mostly been the thing that we like the most. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. Second question is, when am I gonna take the NWA title from somebody? Like what? No, I'm just teasing.
I'm just you know that's good, brothers. You know, I don't. Oh, yes. That's good, brothers, man. That is a good brother. I don't have my titles, man. I have titles, but I don't walk around with them like he does.
Oh, listen, man, I would all day.
So he walks the hood with it. Everybody knows.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. What is it working with Good Brother and you guys accomplishing what y'all have done so far with Dirty Heels and even being, which I found out the other day, which I'm a little shocked I didn't realize. You guys are part of the Jobber Network.
Oh no, we're not a part of it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. I thought I saw it and I was like,
we were on the Java-Tiers. We're very close to them.
Okay, I got you. But what's it like working with Good Brother and you guys, you know, the way you guys have progressed?
It was great. It's great working with Good Brother, man, because for the most part, it was like we started it together, but it was like we kept leveling up. What it is Good Brother watches way more wrestling than me, so it's always good to have somebody who always knows it all.
Right.
And
I can attest to that.
I'm more of a lazy type of person, so it's always good to work with him because he is great. He's always A1. He always knows what he's talking about. He's always gonna make sure we get there. Me, I think I'm just more of the, all right, well, how much money we need, how much weed we need. I'm more of the
financial side.
All important essentials, though. All important essentials.
No, I'm more of that guy. No disrespect to anybody, but I pay attention to wrestling, but not as much as Good Brother, man. You know, I can't keep up with him. You know what I'm saying? But it's been exciting, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's been the most exciting, just working with him. And he's actually changed and developed as a person. A lot of people don't realize. So, because, like, before this whole stuff, we would run the block and stay outside 2, 3 in the morning, doing a bunch of nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, it kept us out of trouble. So, to see him develop as a person is definitely a big thing for me.
That's good.
Blessings, man. Blessings.
Is there any like specific episodes that you guys have done so far that has resonated with you the most, or maybe some of the talent that you guys have met throughout the time y'all have done this podcast?
I'm gonna say, you know, I think our favorite episode might be BCW. Might be the BCW when Mr. Cole came over and they brought the whole BCW family over. I think that might be my favorite one. Good Brother might say Danny Limelight when he interviewed Danny Limelight. But you know, I had fun when Jobber-Tiz came over. We had fun. I don't know. You know, it's just always fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't really pinpoint it. I I can't. You know, might be the 420 episodes is always my favorite. I don't know. You know, the 420 episodes is fun. I'm not gonna lie; those are always the greatest episodes to me. So I might have to roll with the 420.
Got you. So today is Juneteenth, and you know, as we have spoken to previous guests, so far today, being a person of color and podcasting, or really being a person of color and doing everything at this point, but being a person of color in the wrestling business, what continues to drive you guys outside of, you know, just trying to have fun?
It's people like you guys, Jobatiers, KOKTR, can't remember their name, Rap and Wrestling. It's people like
Rap and Wrestling, yeah.
That we met, that were like, they showed us so much love. And there's a lot of people that showed us so much love that we were surprised, honestly, because I didn't want to be known as those black guys, hood black guys. You know, I didn't want to be known as that, but I guess it developed to a point where it became cool. I don't know. But, you know, that's what mostly the main thing. Meeting people like you guys keeps us going. You know what I'm saying? We go in our inbox and we get people like, yo, we love your episode. And lots of times for me, it's very surprising, because when we started this, I was like, yo, no one's going to listen to us. No one wants to see two guys smoking, You know, it was a lot of bad thoughts on my behalf. Your brother always had faith, always. So, you know, to meet other podcasters that are doing it as well as us, lets us know we're not alone. Because it was a long time before we even met anyone else other than just us, before we met us and Jobatiers. Like, we always kind of knew Jobatiers, but we weren't doing podcasting at the time.
Right.
So, like, just to meet other podcasters, our color, and how we link up, how the family, it's just such a fucking crazy family. Like,
very much so.
It's a crazy family. So just to do that, it means a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing we came into like, we want to make this amount of money. We didn't really have money on our mind, nothing. You know what I'm saying? We just came into it, and just like I said, just to meet people like you, Jobatiers, Rap and Wrestling, a whole bunch of other guys, man, that showed us so much love, man. Henny Wrestling, you know, all those guys, man, definitely, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Something I was thinking. So I've been, the Dirty Heels and the Council has been back and forth. We've always shared each other's stuff. We've always been eye to eye. Everything's always been up and up. And we've been talking about getting each other on each other's shows for a bit anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you see as the future, even if it's within the next year, just something simple? It's not a job interview, you know what I'm saying? Like, not. But
for me,
you guys, like, what do you think you would like to grow?
Well, for me, I tell Good Brother this all the time. My dream is to start our own network and to have all of our podcaster friends on there. Like, why not? When it starts, I wouldn't mind a radio station, because like, it's stuff I wanted to do since I was a child. So and it just came all into play. So why not get a radio station or have an app where all of us can be on that app, or something like that. I have a friend. Shout out to my homeboy Chris. And he was saying to me, he was like, yo, he was saying, like, you guys are like, I don't know these other podcasters' names, but Wacko, and I don't know these other guys' names. There's a bunch of other podcasters, but I don't even know their names. But he was saying how our show was like that. We drinking smoke, and I was like, well, it's cool. We didn't start out. We didn't want it to be like that, like I was saying, but
it just kind of progressed its way.
Yeah, it kind of just went its way. So that's really I don't.
I hear you. Something else that I wanted to mention. So our former guest Wolf King, he has the E-Fez, and he smokes and all of that, as we saw. But have you ever gotten any pushback from, like, drinking and smoking while recording or putting that on YouTube or anything like that? Like, has there been anything?
Only from my girlfriend. Only from my girlfriend. Only one. She's always like, you guys shouldn't be doing that on camera. Kids probably watch your show. I tell her we put the discretional advisory stuff up, and you know
Right,
how
right.
you know how some girls are. But that's
Hey.
probably the only person, other than that, it's really no. We usually get people want to come to our show because of the drinking and the smoke.
Got you.
Honestly.
Got
A
you.
lot of people want to come to our show. Are always like, "Yo, can I pull up? I'm gonna bring a bottle." It's always like that. So for the most part, yeah, she's the only one who gives us a little.
All right, fair enough. Touche. I get that. I completely understand that. So we got 5 minutes left with you, so I'm gonna throw you a wrestling question.
Mm-hmm.
So we spoke of a few wrestlers at the top of the show. Roman Reigns. Kev brought up Braun Strowman and some of the released wrestlers. We spoke about Bobby Lashley. My question to you is, how do you feel about the women's scene across different shows or different companies?
I think AEW women's scene needs a little work. It's getting better as it goes on. I can't really go hard on AEW because they just started. They're only a year and a half in, almost 2 years, so I can't let their women develop. You know what I'm saying? People are still trying to figure out their women. As far as NWA, I just found them boring. I'm sorry, found it boring. I don't.
Yeah.
They just feel like
it's kind of old school. It's super old school.
Yeah, I just can't dig it. I've tried. I just can't get into it. I'm sorry. I will not. I've tried many times to watch it, but it just seems so choreographed.
It's an acquired taste, I think. NWA, just because of the feel and everything, feels really like it feels antiquated. Like the old TV set and everything, and like the small ring and the it's like it's being produced in front of a studio audience and stuff like that. It just feels really really old. It's like 1970.
That's my biggest problem. But I don't have a problem with their women. I think they're all dope, especially when they come to AEW. I still think all those women have great talent. My favorite women's division is NXT. I would like to watch any woman in NXT fight any night. What matters to me. I do pick and choose the women's matches because I'm not a big fan of women's wrestling. I'm not. I pick and choose. So for the most part, I don't agree with Triple H saying that. Because a lot of his women aren't even developed. They kind of throwing them bones.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not to even speak of the women in WWE. They don't really have a women's division. They're just recycling through women. So I give it a year, 2 years, and AEW's women's division will blow them out the water. Impact does have a great women's division.
Definitely. Always did. Mm-hmm. Always did.
I'm a big Impact fan. I cannot take away from Impact Wrestling before I go. Impact has a great women's division. All those women, from the ones they bring back or the ones they let go, whatever happens, they always have a great women's division. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like their women's division, if they're not in Impact for the long haul, they end up succeeding so much in different places, be it NXT, Raw, SmackDown, AEW, New Japan, ROH. And honestly, I feel like, me personally, I don't know how many people are going to agree with me or not, but the women's revolution really did start with TNA. You got Gail Kim, you had ODB, you had all of these women who was putting on these amazing matches, and because it's not the WWE, it seemed like it wasn't.
That's the problem.
Prominent, right?
I always tell people, WWE helped. WWE, all right. WWE is like 50 Cent to me. All these people went to drop their album, and then 50 dropped his. Now you don't know where those people are. Right. You know what I mean? It was people that Freeway dropped his album. It was this person, that person. All these people about to drop their album. 50 dropped his album. That's like WWE. WWE, you can drop all of this stuff, but once WWE does it, it doesn't matter anymore. Right. It's over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They help mainstream wrestling though, which is a great thing. You know what I mean? You can't take that away. They might have a bad product as of right now, but they have had a lot of good stuff throughout the years. You know what I mean? So I'm a big WWE fan. I love AEW right now. I don't really watch WWE too much anymore. I watch NXT. But for the most part, I'm still a fan.
A lot of people will not hold that against you.
That's very true. I watch it all. I can't help it. It's just like,
I've tried. Sometimes for me, if it's just boring and doesn't make sense, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like
Right. Exactly.
Like last night, I just don't like Apollo Crews. I can't stand him. So I won't watch.
With the accent, like this version of him.
And Commander Aziz.
I want to destroy a wall. I cannot stand it. You know when anime characters like
Yup.
I want to.
Yup.
Yeah, I want to do that. I can't stand it.
Well, Kofi Weaston, bro, thank you so much for coming through. Please do your plugs real quick. Let them know.
It's your boy Kendall Stones, aka Kofi Weaston, aka Kevin Hash. Man, it's your boy. I just don't forget that one. That's a new one.
Kevin Hash heard it.
You can always find me on YouTube. You find us on YouTube, Dirty Hills Podcast. Find us on IG, Dirty Hills _132. Twitter, Dirty Hills Podcast 1. I think it's Pod C1 or something like that. But you just hashtag Dirty Hills or Dirty Hills Podcast and you will find us. Good brother would kill me right now.
He did your word.
He hates, first of all, he hates when I do the intros and the outros. So, that's his job.
Thank you so much,
he gotta be here next time.
Yeah, right.
I'll be here next time. I'll be honest. He thinks Gemini season is his whole birthday.
Oh, heard.
So he's one of those.
I already know.
I already knows.
I already know.
That's cool. Janelle from HR and I was just repping the Virgos at the beginning at the top of the show, so it's cool. I understand.
Yeah.
But thank you
for
really appreciate it, man.
I get it.
Thank you for having me, man. We gotta have y'all on that show, man. Y'all gotta pull up, man.
You already know.
Gotta pull up, man.
Whatever.
Big shout out to my big brother Bo.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, man.
No problem.
Thanks for joining us, brother.
Oh man. Hello. All right. That was Kofi Weaston.
That was Kofi Weaston, Dirty Hills Podcast.
Yep. Thank you so much for coming through. We really appreciate it. Now, just dropped out. Now we got two brothers who, one of our members who currently isn't here. Y'all know. We'll get to that. We got them in through. We were so excited, so happy to bring y'all through. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fillmore Boys.
Hey.
What's going on, gents?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Oh, wait, sorry. The applause got to go away.
Yeah.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah,
you're good. You're good.
You're good.
Cool.
Thank you for coming on, guys. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
What's up, y'all?
Ain't nothing much. Oh, damn, I did all of that. But please, as we have been doing, first and foremost, please do your plugs. Introduce yourselves.
All right. Well, my name is Troy Cassius. One half of the Fillmore Boys. My boy, I'm not gonna introduce him. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
What's up, y'all? My name is Mari, the other half of Fillmore Boys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Y'all can hear me clear, by the way, right?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Right, cool.
You're good. Yeah, once again, man, thank y'all for coming through. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. First and foremost, as we have been speaking about with some of our other guests, what is it about you? Please explain your podcast. What is it about it that keeps you going? All ears.
That's interesting. I'm gonna start off first, but so our podcast is literally about everything we go through everyday life for like late 20s to early 30s. We talk about politics. We talk about social media stuff. We talk about deep themes with like the things that we encounter every day. And then we just we try to have like an honest conversation about it, so trying to give like different perspectives.
All right. What is it, Mario? What is it about? What is or let me do it like this. What is it about podcasting or you guys putting out content? What is it that keeps you guys going?
All right, so I'm gonna speak on behalf of myself.
Absolutely.
If I say anything that's inaccurate, pardon me. So, me personally, prior to this, I've been doing photography and whatnot. So I already was kind of getting into the whole social media thing. Even that, like, I'd be on Facebook, but I don't really talk there. So like when we started podcasting, well, we used to always like talk about it because like we speak about common situations that you guys will go through. We just try to hit home every now and then, try and be relatable. So like one random day, we was just chilling. We already bought the mic. Like we been bought this stuff. We just kept saying, "Yo, we gonna start." And then one day we was just like, well, he was just like, "Yo, let's do it today. We already here." So we started, and that's after that. It just became fun, and that's what ended up keeping me around. It's always been fun because like while I'm figuring out things to promote to other people, I'd always learn as well. So that's what kept me there, personally.
Good.
And
Go
on
ahead.
top of
I'm
that,
sorry.
sorry to cut you guys off. My fault.
No, you good.
Then
Go
it's like me and my brother over here. We known each other since I moved here, so we on like 21 years. So it's like who better to do something networking wise with.
Right. Where you from originally? We getting into it.
I used to live. I was always in Brooklyn. I used to live just by
Okay.
Church Avenue, but then I moved literally around the corner from where he lives.
Oh,
We
gotcha.
known each other and didn't know that we was like around the corner from each other.
Oh, wow.
That's a
Yeah.
fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's if that's not New York in a nutshell, man.
Yeah.
Floyd,
What's
what
up?
is it? So you got merch out. You guys have merch.
Yeah.
What is it that made you guys want to put merch out? Not so much for the buck, but like what is it that made you think that people gravitate to, getting your guys' stuff?
I'll be completely honest with you, man. Like, I first started making merch for myself.
Right.
So it was not for anybody to,
Not even mad at that.
yeah, it was not for anybody to wear. So like one day I was with my ex-girlfriend and we were going to like a diner down the way, like on Utica or whatever. And I was just talking. Like one thing I do is like everything I do is freestyle. It's not necessarily planned, but
Right. Cut out.
Uh-oh. We having technical difficulties.
Nah, you probably got a cold.
Oh, hey, listen, things happen. Give him the
So
Hogan.
I'm just letting him know that it's not working for in case he can't hear us.
Right. Can't hear you, bro.
No. Here, we'll fill back in. I got you. Whenever you're ready.
And we'll be right back.
Nope, you can't hear Nat Jack, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why things are live.
There's nothing like live TV.
Right? For real. We'll bring him back in a second. Mari, what would you consider your personal most favorite episode so far?
Of our episodes?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. You guys could probably relate. Every time we put one out, I catch myself saying, "Yeah, I thought the last one was better, but this one was better." And It's like that same cycle every time. Not really because of the content, but because like as you keep doing things, you learn more. So like we just figure out like little things that make us. So it's like a milestone. Every episode, if we learn something new, I'm like, yeah, I like this episode the most. Even if the product doesn't sound as good, just because it's mine by the default. Whatever I put out, I'm just gonna be like, nah, this is it. This is the best one. I just sell it like that.
I hear you. Floyd, please continue.
Yeah, my fault, man. My homeboy called me because I'm on the way to a party.
Don't even worry.
I said it's cool.
But yeah,
see what I do?
So like I usually freestyle a lot of the stuff that we do. So I remember one day I was just walking. I was like, I feel like a squirrel trying to get a nut. And I actually saw a squirrel when I was on my way to the diner with her. So I was like, yo, it would be crazy if I made a merch like that. And then I was thinking about the I Feel Like Kobe shirt by Kanye. And I was like, yo, if I could find that text, I could find a squirrel, that shit will work out. That same day, within like an hour or two, I made the first shirt, the I Feel Like a Squirrel shirt. Now the squirrel thing, that's how the squirrel thing came about, because I was like, we already have an emblem, but the squirrel thing is just like it adds more life to the emblem, because it's like, we're from Fillmore. There's a bunch of squirrels when you walk on Fillmore. Yep. So I'm like, that shit works out. So I made the first shirt and I texted him, and he was like, he's like, I could dig it. And He's like, I could dig it. And so ever since then, I remember I wore the first shirt to my old job, Amazon. And God bless them, my homeboy Malik, he was like, yo, I need that. I was like, what you mean you need that? He's like, yo, I need that. Give me any color you want. And I was like, okay. And he's like, yo, I need a hoodie too. I'm like, what the fuck? You talking about hoodies? I'm like, what's going on here? So I was like, okay. So I made the first emblem hoodie for him. And then I made 2 squirrel shirts that I feel like a squirrel shirt. And then I was like, you know what? It'll be interesting if everybody got their own custom colorways instead of everybody having the same colorway.
Right.
And that's what like gravitated a lot of people towards the merch. Because it's like nobody can get your colorway. So it's always going to be a one of one. Now, as time went on, that became really time consuming and a lot of work. So that's why that's why I said September 1st, we kind of off that. But you're still going to get like a chance of freedom, like custom colorway. So it's like you're not going to get the same colorway, default colorway every season. But to September 1st, man, you got time to, get custom whatever. And it's an affordable too. So it was not, so when I made the merch, it was not for people to wear, honestly.
Right.
But it just got to the point where people was like, yo, that's kind of cool. The squirrel is cute. And then I was like, okay. And then when we started doing like all the legalities as LLC and stuff, my homeboy's like, yo, you can't use that squirrel because it's a clip art. So I said, all right, boom. I asked my brother, because he does graphic designing. I was like, yo, cook me up a squirrel similar to this, but make it more like us. The first squirrel he cooked up, that's the squirrel we use.
Wow.
The squirrel smoking, because my homeboy smoked on the block. Then the squirrel wearing a dad cap. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, this is lit. And ever since then, we just rolled with it.
That's
This
dope.
is here we are. Like I said, it's all freestyle, but it just happened to work out.
Dude, that's awesome. That's so dope. I just asked Mari this question. I'm gonna ask you also.
What's up?
Out of all of the episodes that I've done so far, could you pinpoint one of your favorites?
Ooh, yo, there's a lot. There's a lot of episodes we've done, but my personal favorite would have to be the love episode, because that was like the first time like I wasn't really talking as much, and like Mari was dropping so much gems, and like I kind of got emotional on them, and like even my ex heard it, and she was like, "Yo, this is." She heard the like my pain, like talking about it. So it's like that was the first one. I was just like, "Wow, this one got my BMPs acting up, man." I was like, this is like, wow, like that was one of the episodes I was like, yo, I still listen to it to this day, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, I still listen to it to this day. Like, but there's a couple of episodes, like the first episode, I loved it because that was straight basketball. We was talking about the finals, and that was 4 years ago.
Wow.
So when Kevin Durant won his first ring, that was 4 years ago. And that's when we started talking about it, because everybody was comparing him to LeBron and stuff like that. So that was one of my favorites. There's so many. Yeah, there's like
that's why I threw the question.
Yeah, there's like 116 episodes. Yeah. So, even what's another episode? I'll give you one more. I said love, the new era, and I'll say even one of our most recent ones, right? Like it's not about you, because like that's a saying I always say to everybody, but I have to say to myself as well. It's like, yo, bro, it's really not about you. So when I put that all in context, I was like, and it resonated with a lot of people too. You know what I mean? Because the people really take things personal, but sometimes it's not really about you. It's somebody going through their own stuff. So yeah, that's one of my favorites, and that was recent. That was probably like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
you know
that's a very factual statement right there.
Yeah. So I really appreciate that episode. But my favorite, hands down, was love, because that was the one I was like, yo, Shamari's he's never missing. It was going like 10 for 10. He was not missing on that. It was 10 for 10. So it was one of the ones. It was one of those ones.
That's super dope. Well, you guys know QS quite well. Any secret
Who?
story? No, I'm just teasing. I'm just
Oh.
teasing. I'm just
Oh.
teasing. But Jeez, I had one of guys, and it was right there.
I
The
got
question was right there.
I got a
Oh,
question.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Stray.
I got a question
yeah,
as a
yeah.
basketball fan. Since that was brought up, I too am a huge basketball fan. I've been in the NBA playoffs. Who do you think are the current crop of teams that we got now? Who's the favorite to win it all? Because there's a lot of teams that I didn't see coming. Especially out in the West. I thought the Lakers might have had an improved chance if they would have remained healthy. I thought the Jazz would have done a lot better considering their team defense. What do you gentlemen think about the current crop teams in NBA playoffs?
All right, no. You mind if I answer first? All right, so this is one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm gonna try and make it make sense. This league would be really interesting if Brooklyn was not a team. It's one of those kind of things like every team got so good, but Brooklyn still has so much firepower. It's like the rest of y'all, as good as y'all got, it doesn't matter. Like they have Kevin Durant, Kyrie, Harden. Even that Kyrie and Harden's not really playing, just on paper, it's like, yo, like no matter how much better you guys are, betting odds, you're the underdog, underwhelming. But you all got better, so it counts for something, even that it really doesn't.
Right.
So it's just one of those unfortunates. But a lot of these teams did surprise us. Like if Brooklyn loses Game 7, I bet you this will be the first time that we look at all 4 teams. Like it'll probably be like an even cult following for every team.
Absolutely.
But because Brooklyn is here, it's like, yo, we see the growth, but we live in the now. Brooklyn is now.
Right, their opportunity and their windows now. I feel the same exact way. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ferg, you got something?
I'll say this, right? My Lakers lost. My Portland Trailblazers
Oh
lost.
boy.
I'm very upset.
Oh boy.
I'm very upset, right?
You ain't QS, man.
Yo, brother, I'm highly upset. But I'll say this, right? I'll say I love what Phoenix is doing. I love
Great.
Even though this is a stupid ass team, Milwaukee pushed it to 7. I'm happy about that. They're a dumb team. I'm sorry. They play.
Yeah, the way they're structured is dumb. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they'll get everything in the paint, and then as soon as they get a comfortable lead, just start jacking up jumpers. Which,
it's outdated.
Every year, the team gets better, but the problem is you got Giannis playing like a 4, but he's a 4 playing on top of the key. Get your dumb ass to the post. Get your dumb ass to the post. I'm tired of this. Because, nobody could guard you down low. Develop a post up. This guy, he does a disservice when he wants to dunk from the free throw line and everybody's just watching him like, yo, Giannis gonna do it. You can't play hero ball with somebody who can't shoot free throws and who can't shoot.
Right.
Get your bum ass in the post.
In the paint, yep. That's it.
Yeah, get your ass in the paint. But I just love how the playoffs have, like, even yesterday with Utah versus Phoenix. That was a beautiful game. Not Utah versus Phoenix. Utah versus
LAC.
Clippers,
I'm shocked. I am shocked that Clippers won. But
same here. I thought Utah had them.
Somebody drinking Shannon Sharp's tears somewhere in the world, man. I know he's super tight right now.
Yo, but here's my
I was
thing.
never sold on them.
I'm still not sold, right? Because here's the thing, right? Terrence Mann is not gonna have a game like that ever in his life.
Nope.
Let's cut it out.
Nope.
All right.
Definitely not.
That was a one and done. That's a one and done. And I got Phoenix winning. I got Phoenix winning. Winning the entire thing, the whole way, because Brooklyn's too battered up. Yeah, you got the greatness of Kevin Durant. We don't know about Harden's situation, and Kyrie. Let's be honest, Kyrie got paper legs. You know what I mean? So it's like as great as they are.
I've never heard that before. That's great. I got to use that.
Yeah, as great as they are, like, I just don't see, like, you have to be consistently healthy for you to win, and then you gotta beat the Bucks tonight. Because I don't know, for some strange reason, I see the Bucks winning tonight. Because there's been some weird stuff happening all playoffs. So
Yeah.
this would be definitely weird.
Yeah, that would be weird. I agree with that.
Weird. Like LA, like LeBron losing in the first round, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Completely shocked. But
First for everything.
But all in all, I'll say this. I like that there's gonna be a new chip. I like that it's not gonna be the same typical teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the emergence, like not the emergence, but the realization that Devin Booker is here to stay.
Yep.
Because he's one of my favorite players in the league. Damian Lillard, my favorite player. Like I like all scores. Damian Lillard, my favorite player. LA's my favorite team. But Devin Booker, if you're gonna eliminate my team, you gotta go all the way. The same thing with Dirk. You had to go all the way if you're gonna eliminate my team. That's how I see it.
No, for sure.
I just want to say one thing. Yeah, I remember when Jay Williams was talking about he blew up KD for saying don't compare that man Giannis to me and whatnot. And then KD claimed he didn't. One thing I'll say, this whole series made me I believe KD said that. Because one thing is, like he's been playing like that matchup. It's been so out of hand where I'm like, not only am I saying KD's clearly over you, now I'm looking at you next to Curry and the other people that I had behind you. I'm like, yo, are you really top 5? This matchup is looking crazy.
Exactly.
He's getting Defensive Player of the Year. KD's going nuts. 47, 17, and 10. You don't want to step in front of that.
Stop
yeah,
him.
he got to take.
Nobody can stop him.
As
LeBron
best
can't
player
even
on his
stop
team,
him.
he has
As
to
a
take a challenge to guard him.
it's your job to try and sometimes when it's getting out of hand, you got to try something. And then you get on camera and say he's the...
Yeah. I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah,
then you get on camera and say he's the best in the world. Like, y'all still got... Like, y'all not dead yet. What is wrong with you?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, Kevin Durant was right. Don't compare Giannis to him.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they win, don't compare him to KD.
I got one more NBA question before we let you go. Who's the next big thing? LeBron James' time. Nobody beats Father Time. LeBron James. This finally looks like the season that we see the chink in the armor, so to speak. With LeBron James, he isn't getting any younger. Who's the next big thing in the NBA?
You can start. I know my answer.
Well,
I just want to know who's the next big thing.
As far as like
big thing?
As far as like the combination of media marketability combined with game, I can honestly see it being Luka Doncic. As far as like game,
Yep.
He's not the next best. He's now. He's the now.
Yeah, he's a now.
He's the now.
He's a now.
Luka, I've never seen a kid like Luka Doncic with that. Luka looks like the type, you give his athletic profile. He shouldn't be able to do this. He shouldn't be able to do that. He still finds a way. It's that basketball IQ, that mind is off the charts. He can hit any type of shot. He can hit it off the dribble. He can hit it off the catch. I think Luka Doncic is amazing.
Luka is the kind of talent that makes people backpedal on narratives we have for decades.
Yeah.
Because until Luka, because I know y'all remember this, players from overseas are not like us. We're much better than them. Luka
Absolutely.
You better be nice. You've been playing overseas. He literally reversed the narrative in one season.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say, but
he's tearing it up in FIBA now. I remember thinking to myself, like I looked at his numbers in Eurobasket for the Olympic qualifiers, and I'm like, U.S. better be scared of who he's bringing with him.
And one thing I'll say, no matter who, I'm very biased and I don't care. Whenever we set up a team, I'm always gonna say we're better than the rest of the world, so we better win.
Right.
That's good. Where I'm like,
right, yeah, it's getting a little hot in here with Luka.
Like I don't even know where overseas found him at.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, where you found a guy like that from?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, guys, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate the love, man.
Yo, appreciate it.
And,
absolutely.
We would definitely mix it up again for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
We definitely got to chop it up. Yeah, definitely chop up with some wrestling.
Oh yeah, it's going down.
Oh, yeah,
it's going down.
Okay.
Most definitely. Any time.
Right.
Kyle, if you want them to plug their stuff one more time.
Oh yes. Sorry about that. Yeah, plug your stuff. Ooh, that was rude of me. Rude.
Well, we're on Instagram. Bro, you okay?
Yeah,
You
bro, I'm
walking
in the bank.
around.
My bad.
He getting to the
Yeah, I'm in the
money.
bank. I'm in the bank.
He getting to the money.
Yeah, I'm in the bank, bro. My bad. A lot of moving around. My fault. My fault. A lot of distractions.
It's all good. It's all good.
Trying to make people dizzy.
I'm like, what are you looking around at? Yeah, you can catch
The
us on the
bank, trust
gram
me.
at Fillmore Boys, FILLMOREBOYZ.
Mhm.
We have a link there with all of our platforms: SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You can catch the merch page at Fillmore Boys Merch. You can catch me at _ shot by Mari. That's my photography page, or my regular blogging page, the character Mari. My brother over here will plug his stuff.
Yeah, you can
hope.
catch me at the Boomer Sims. Come on, bro. You can catch me at the Boomer System, THE_BO0MIN_system. You can catch me on IG. Same thing on Twitter without the underscores. And yeah, man. That's all I got.
Dope. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's give you your applause out.
Appreciate you.
Get the
Appreciate you.
fans. Thank you, gents. We'll link up.
All right, yo. Salute.
Oh man, this has been one hell of a show.
Absolutely. Some of our
One
best
hell of
work.
a show.
You know, we've gotten to highlight so many amazing people and so many amazing different platforms, wrestling related, maybe
Definitely.
venturing into different avenues as well. You know, this is
Yeah.
a hell of an
Yeah,
endeavor,
man.
boys.
Oh, hold up. Wait. I'm getting a call. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You already know it's your boy QS, aka Quiet Storm himself. Wow, what an episode! What a day! Happy anniversary to the Four Corners of Commentary. As you can see, this is pre-recorded because unfortunately, the very actual day, I'm not going to be there. You know, life happens, so I had to take care of some stuff. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it truthful. I had work. I'm gonna be at work that day, so I'm not actually going to be physically present. It's gonna be kind of impossible. So, but I couldn't end this whole entire segment off without leaving y'all with something. You know, after every scene, I know we probably had a bunch of guests. We've had a lot of situations, a lot of networking going on. A lot of people gave their stories, giving a little account of what they do, what they're doing, what they plan to do for the future. But I felt that it was good to end it off on this note. We're trying to wrap it up, so why not wrap it up with a night, of course, a little segment of little mental health check-in. We already know I know it's been a rough year for some people. I know it's been rough, probably a rough couple of months for a lot of people. We're only 6 months into the year. This is, it's tough on some. Some people have lost a lot of loved ones. Some people are over here trying to find themselves. I would say take these moments as a pause. Take these moments. Be sure to be able to pause yourself, recenter yourself, and think about everything that's been going on, everything that has happened, and try to look inward and try to also think about the positives. I know that kind of sounds a little cliche to be like, oh yeah, everything's going to be all right. You got to just think of the positives. But believe it or not, you do. It all comes from within. You got to just think about it. You have to change your mindset sometimes for things to get better. I know there's a lot of shadow work that everybody is trying to do on themselves because there's a lot of unlearning. Some people are recovering from a trauma. Some people are recovering from grief and loss. And some people sometimes it gets a little bit tougher, so you have to feel like you need to reach out to either your friends or reach out to therapy. I'm just trying to tell you that in the end of this whole thing, even if you're having a bad moment, it doesn't mean that it's a bad life. You can just have to realize that this moment is just that, a moment. And just like any moment, a moment will pass. It does get better. It's always going to get better in the end. If you feel that you're drowning, if you feel that it's too much to bear, if you're not even able to try to talk to somebody, even talking to somebody professionally, you can always go talk to your actual loved ones, the ones that really have always been there in your corner. Lean in on your community. Always remember to lean in on community. Learn to tap in and let them help you shoulder
the burden that you feel, this endless weight that you're dealing with. It's not, like I said, as always before, it's not just because it's a bad moment, it doesn't mean it's a bad life. There's so much more to live for. There's so much more to smile for. There's so much more to just enjoy and take, I guess, a breath of fresh air, a little bit of positivity with. You know, don't take these bad moments and make it consume you to the point that you're spiraling out and you're lashing out on your own community, your own loved ones. Don't try to lash out on them like this is somebody that you just met in the street. These are your loved ones. These are your friends. These are your family. You have to show them some grace. I know it's hard to unlearn that because this is probably what you grew up seeing. But the shadow work, you got to start with you. Any type of shadow work, any type of healing, you got to do it within you. Everybody, I'm not saying everybody else, it's everybody else's job to heal you. It's really your job to heal you. You need to be able to heal yourself. You need to be able to actually fix this part of yourself, so that way you could be able to be the best you for everyone, for yourself and for everyone else around you. But of course, as you know, like, that's just the one little tidbit I want to just leave you off with. You know, just like a little mental health check-in, and just basically just a little bit of positivity, like a little bit of joy, a little bit of smiles. Like, just, once again, I'm sorry that I'm not here. That I'm actually pissed that I'm not here to see this, to enjoy this, to take this in, to actually, bring so many people and take in this joyous moment. But always know that it's not, like I said, this is just it's a one-time thing that only happened. This is not the end. I'm not gone. Like, don't think that, because you don't see me in the beginning, that you're like, that I just dipped out. No, life happened. So that's the only reason why I'm not here. But as always, you already know, it's your boy QS Quiet Storm. I love every last one of you guys that have stuck around, even when we've been trying in the trenches and we're trying to do the relaunch and rebrand. Appreciate everybody still giving words of encouragement. Still appreciate everybody still sticking it out with us. There's always more to come, more collaborations. There's more crossovers, and all in all, just trying to bring more smiles. As you can see, my already at name Forever Thiefing is already on Instagram and Twitter. I'm not giving you my personal social media like that. Social media like my Facebook. I'm not giving you that because I don't know you like that, and I'm not doing that. So, with that, all in all, as you know, it's your boy QS, the one and only Quiet Storm. I love every last one of you, and always remember, do the work, do it within you. Love is love. Thank you. Bless. That's it, y'all.
All
right,
Q
man.
has to come in with the profound thought.
Right?
Hey, make us all look bad 5 minutes.
Final thought.
Well, look, ladies and gents, if you're still rocking with us, we really appreciate it. Like I said, today is about celebrating. Today is the Four Corners of Commentary's birthday, and I feel like I could speak for all four of us when I say we thank you for always pushing and always not, if not pushing each other individually, subscribing and liking and all of the extraness that most people on social media ask for. Gents, I mean, what else is there to say?
Till the next episode.
All right, well, let's do what we always do. No. Who's starting off with their socials? I don't even want to do this anymore. I don't want to go first.
We have graphics now, sir.
We do have graphics.
So,
me. Wait a minute.
Left side.
There we
on the
go.
left side. Yes, sir.
There we go. That's me right there.
That is the big stretch. And
then
Human Encyclopedia himself.
Right?
As for me,
Human Encyclopedia, man, that man knows
CEO, the commish, Striker Dragoon in the building. You know what it is. Always here. Find me here at the bottom here. And Instagram, Twitter, Twitch.
Yep. And our brother might not be here, but that doesn't mean we're not going to show his stuff. Once again, Instagram and Twitter, Forever Thiefing. We will never, ever. What is happening? Caught me off guard. We will forever ever share his stuff. And last but not least, I am K Marvel. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Marvel 87. Very simple stuff. I don't know what happened to Stretch's camera. Like, come on, dog. Where you at? How are we gonna do this without you? Well, once again, if you're still rocking with us, we really appreciate you. Oh, how can we even forget? Four Corners of Commentary. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. You can search the Council of Commentary on YouTube. Excuse me. The Twitter is at CO Commentary.
Mhm.
And also, we are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen to it, we're there. We are there.
That's right.
Well, I can't get my man's back. It seems like something going on. It's just fine. It happens when you're live.
It's all good.
So, ladies and gents, what happened? What happened, Stretch?
Well,
Stretch,
I just wanted to
Striker.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's watching. Please, I implore everybody, follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel as soon as possible. We are at, I believe, 94 last I checked. So once we hit that 100, you don't have to search us on YouTube. It'll give you the link as soon as possible. So we'll get that backslash finally. We can name the channel the Council of Commentary. Now everybody will stop asking us, which one is it? But definitely, if you need a place to come chill, if you need a place to come chill, if you need a place to come promote some stuff, if you want to collab with us, if you want to even get pointers on podcasting and stuff like that, we are your guys. Come search for us on, at least for what we know, but still, a start is a start. We started last year in 2 weeks, and look where we at now. So I want to say to everybody showing us love, definitely, if you can't find us on the socials there and you want a group that to directly speak to us, follow us on Facebook. Search a Council Commentary group on Facebook. We will add you right in.
Hell,
so thank you for everything.
On Google.
Well, period.
Or
period. We everywhere.
We everywhere. Ending words, man.
Well, first and foremost, thank you. And I don't mean to sound like I'm just, blowing smoke towards you because you're here. Thank you to you, specifically, Kyle, because we took the time, to check out some stuff early, leading up to this day and everything. And you really made sure that we were prepared and you wrote stuff down. We were able to really get through this, but, thank you to you, especially because you did an excellent job hosting, I feel. Thank you to everybody that's involved in helping us get this platform out here. Thank you to Ant, who's our social media guy. He usually pushes our stuff very heavily on Instagram and on Twitter. Thank you to Bob to help create the logo. Thank you for Chris Tyner, who's always getting our stuff out there as well. There's so many other people outside of the people that you see in front of the screens and stuff, outside of us just talking, to help get this stuff pushed out there. So thank you to the people that's behind the scenes, that's helping us out. Thank you to the people that's in our Facebook group that's helping us out. And thank you to everybody that watched this podcast celebration today. We can't thank you guys more than enough. We're on a march to 100 subscribers on YouTube, like Troy said. We got some big things planned in the future. We got some collaborations planned in the future. We want to do this again. Thank you so much for watching this.
Oh, hey, Stretch, plug.
Socket.
No. The other podcast, sir.
Oh, yes. My other podcast. Please check out Views from Drew. We're a podcast that is general topics about, whether it be mental health, things going on in the Black community, politics, sports, whatever there is to talk about, we're going to be talking about it. You can check us out on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcast. I bet you if you continue to tune in to us, I will continue to plug it. I'll make sure that we mention episodes, and who knows, maybe there'll be some crossover stuff in the future for the guys coming on that podcast. If anything, we're going to try to get this brand out. Please subscribe and listen to Views from Drew. Thank you so much for letting me plug my other podcast.
Always, bro.
That's man.
Come on, man. You got to do it.
I show love all around, man.
I just want to, once again, thank you guys because we're doing this. Like, QS, we miss you, dog. We know you at work, but
absolutely,
there's always episode 2.
That's right.
Excuse me. I would like to plug Pop Talk with me and my boy Bagman, talking about pops that have come out that we own, and giving a little background and how we feel about those pop figures. I just want to give another round of shout outs real quick. Janelle from HR representing the Jobber-teers. Thank you so much for coming through and showing love. It's really appreciated. Dirty Heels, brothers. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. You already know we're gonna get that collab on. My man Wolf King, dude. I don't even have enough words, man. So
Telling you, I
you
get to
already
listen to that
know.
guy read a phone book, man.
Look, you already know, man. We gonna make these collabs happen.
We got to collab
And
with that guy.
Kev, thank you for giving your insight, brother. We really appreciate it. And last but not least, the Fillmore boys, brothers, thank you for coming through and showing love and spending some of your time with us. So I am Mr. Marvel. Excuse me, I'm K Marvel, but I'm also Mr. Marvel. It's the double nickname. That is the this way. That is the Big Stretch. Over here is Striker Dragoon. QS, brother. We know where you at. And we are the Four Corners of Commentary. And ladies and gentlemen, we out.
Out.